So good morning, we're here again at Soirée in the City and we've got a new guest of honour. We've got the lovely Lord Mayor of Sheffield. Woohoo! Yay! So today we've got a few topics, but mainly we're just going to keep the flow of our lovely general lady chit chat and just really just go with the flow. And so today we're going to start with some questions that we've all discussed, haven't we, all co-members, on a private group chat on Facebook. So we've just spoke mainly about some of the things that we wanted to ask Denise and things that are close to her heart. So I'm going to start by asking you, why did you choose Sparkle?
First of all, because it's a local charity. I wanted to look at local charities in Sheffield, because I feel that people in Sheffield will give more to the charity knowing that it's close to their area and they can find out about it. Also, I chose Sparkle because it's a new charity, and talking to some of the people connected, Niche, I was really interested in what Sparkle was about, and it is about thinking outside the box and working with parents, which some national charities tend to forget about. They focus on the children and forget about the carers and parents, and Sparkle focused on parents, which really interested me.
So, right, what questions would you have for an autism mummy? Like, if there's anything you can think of that you would see like a mum struggling, or would there be anything that you'd ask, do you know, just to like sort of give reassurance, or like you said, for scenario, you're in the supermarket and you can see an autistic child, what would you do? What would you...
Well, I would ask them, I would say, is there anything I can do that can help you in this situation? And if that might be walking around with her, you know, or just being there, so that if the child's having a meltdown perhaps and you're feeling alone, and you know you've just got to let this child sometimes go through it. I would stand with her if that's what she wanted. Or did she want me to fetch somebody? Or does she want me to on something? Sometimes E as well. Sorry, I shouldn't be just assuming. Do they want me to find somewhere quiet? You know, so I would always ask, what can I do to make this situation better for you, better or helpful, you know, because you've not got to assume that doing things might help. You know, they might be just happy to be left alone. So and that's okay too.
But you know, the thing is, it's so nice to be asked.
It's
just the fact. It's just the fact that somebody's even asked, cared enough to say, "Are you okay?" And that's huge for us.
Definitely. So just to wrap up on the last question that we had, just what I'd like to say is that if you're ever out and you see somebody kicking off in a supermarket, or do you know, just any public place, and you can see that parent really struggling, don't be afraid to stop and just say, "Are you all right? Do we need anything? Do you want us to get a member of staff?" You know, don't just look and stare and think, "Oh, you know, they might have got a disability. Let's shuffle off. It's easier." You know, do actually stop and just think and just say, "Do you need any help?" And sometimes, you know, we won't, because we're that used to doing it on our own, aren't we? But it just to know that someone out there understands and is thinking about us, I think that makes just our job so much easier, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
You know, so going back to schools, I'm sure we've all been through, haven't we? I mean, I'm currently in a massive battle at the minute, trying to get, you know, my son's quite severely autistic. He's quite high up on the spectrum, and it is really difficult for him, isn't it? Every day is a struggle, because as he's getting older, it's becoming more apparent, you know, the divide between a normal child or a neurotypical child and Harris it's massive now. You know, when he was young it was cute, weren't it? But now it's, you know, it's a big deal. And so we're currently, we're struggling, aren't we, at the minute?
We're fighting.
We're fighting.
We're fighting.
Well, if I can take something back to the education department, then the thing would be consult with Sparkle
And also, you know what? Listen to parents.
Yeah.
Oh, please listen to
Yeah.
our parents, because the other thing is that, unfortunately, people kind of think they know our child better than we do, and nobody else. We gave birth to them, so we know them better than. And that's. It would be nice to them to say that, listen to Sparkle. That's fantastic, because we've got a lot to say, as you can hear. But it would be nice for them to also listen to our parents.
I do think, especially primary schools and infant schools, do deal with, seem to have more knowledge of autism. So I'm constantly into schools, and I went into one before Christmas, and I go and talk to the children, and I think there was 7, 8-year-olds class, and there was a little boy in the corner, just quite happy, just stood there, and I said, I didn't ask, because I thought, he may have some condition. And the little boy we were talking to, and I said, oh, what are you doing today? And then he turned and he said, and that's Alex, and he likes to go in the corner sometimes, but that's okay, isn't it? I said, that's fine. So then I thought, this child might be autistic, and he's took himself away from the situation himself, thinking, this is too much. And he took, and clearly the teachers were aware of this and just left him to it, So you're right. I think they are getting a bit better about dealing with situations, but I think it's when they get older, because I haven't seen it in the comprehensive schools. I haven't seen that.
What we need is every single teacher to go through autism training, intense autism training, because the amount of children that are coming through the doors that have autism now are 3, 4 times, 5 times more than they did a few years ago. So they're always, at some point, a teacher is going to deal with an autistic child, and the more we do that, the better. So going back, it's exactly what we said before, which is education is the key. But the education that is the key needs to be done across the board. It needs to be compulsory that each member of staff goes through autism training, and that would help. I'm not saying it will solve the problem, but it will definitely take things to a different. They need Sparkle, come on. They need sparkling.
Sorry, not as much. Obviously, teachers do, but they're going to have sort of like an understanding. But maybe the children as well, especially in senior schools. Maybe getting the kids to understand a bit better.
Nook Lane. Oh my goodness! I went to Nook Lane. Jenny's son did a presentation on autism, and then all the children were in assembly, and Alfie stood up and did a fantastic presentation on autism, and it was even more fantastic because he said that give Sparkle money, which I thought was great. That was just a fantastic part. It's the best part. I was like, you should go, Alfie. Yes. Get it. So he did a presentation, and it was absolutely brilliant. And then afterwards, all the children asked questions about autism, and they were asking me really in-depth questions. So they said, is the question for Leash, or is the question for Alfie? And they asked Alfie questions, and no. The good thing about it, they said to Alfie things like, because Alfie put on his favourite car and different things, and some of the children put their hand up and said, that's my favourite car as well, good choice, Alfie, and stuff. And it just made him feel so accepted.
There was a link there.
Yeah, it was just beautiful to see that the children were responding to him, saying, actually, that happens to me when he says that he gets anxious and he needs blue tack sometimes. He was actually saying, the people saying, oh, that happens to me. And then the children were asking me really complex questions, and I was like, my God. And then afterwards they said, if anybody would like to ask Leisha any questions afterwards. So I had a line of kids, and guess what they all wanted? Diagnoses. They were literally going, do I have autism? Because, right, I've got this, and can I come to Sparkle? Because your club sounds really good. So can I come to your events? Because I think I do this with my hands. I know that I'm autistic. No, you're not autistic, but I do think you need to talk. If you have any problems, talk to your teacher. But, that's what they need. When I saw that assembly, I thought, oh my God, because they said that
autism is being cool.
Yeah, and the thing was as well, the good thing is that they said that bullying is down to nearly zero in that school, because it's not just autism they tried lots of different, so there's a girl that did an assembly on her anger management, there was ADHD, just different things. So these children are getting all this knowledge,
They're opening awareness, aren't they?
yeah, they're getting all this knowledge, and also it makes them think, actually, I do that. Sometimes it doesn't mean that I am, but sometimes I do that. So they're like me.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it's given them that. And I thought, my God, why can't every school do that?
Right. So that we wanted, obviously, you've given us no end of funding, and you've raised so much doing Dancing on Ice.
Dancing on Ice.
Which was just incredible, and you can watch that on YouTube. And I'm sure we can plug your YouTube channel, because as I know your other half, you know, it was great when he showed it on YouTube. He said it would, you know, he really enjoyed it, and he was proud. Yeah, he was so happy. And so yeah, we just wanted to, like, you know, just say, you know, how much we appreciate all fundraising, because we've been able to we've done so many amazing things. I mean, Grotto were just incredible, and it took days and days to prepare, and you know, and we were all running around back and forth with boxes to, you know, to Big Yellow thing, and you know, plugged the Big Yellow.
Big Yellow self-storage. Our wonderful sponsors.
Sponsors, yeah.
But no, joking aside, they have done, you know, we've been able to do some beautiful things, haven't we? And the faces, do you know, like, I know for me, with two, I'm outnumbered anyway, and there was no way that I could have taken my boys to see a neurotypical Father Christmas. The queues, everything, it just wouldn't have happened. So for us to be able to still do normal things, it was lovely. Yeah. But without funding that we've got from, like, all these people, we wouldn't be able to do it, would we?
Without funding, and also just having the Lord Mayor behind Sparkle, it has made, I'd say it's put autism in a different light in Sheffield because of what you've done. And I don't think you quite understand. I don't think you quite understand what you did by doing that. And I've got to say, you took a risk taking us on board. You really took a risk, and it was, and I think that's why we push so hard, because we want to make you so proud. We tried all we can to make you as proud as possible, so that you don't feel that you made a mistake in having us.
Well, it means people answer the phone.
Yeah.
You know, when you ring and you say, hello, I'm from Sparkle Sheffield and I'm looking for a Christmas tree for our grotto for free. Did I mention that we're the Lord Mayor's charity? All of a sudden they take my call. And it's made it so much easier to just raise some equipment and funds, and it makes a difference to those companies because they want to be associated in that sort of positive light. And for the children that benefit from that, that makes the big difference.
Yeah.
Because, you know, otherwise you just get the dial tone when they hang up. That awkward silence. You're not getting anything, stop talking.
Aww.
Well, thank you for that. Thanks for your kind words.
Yeah,
And,
it does.
You're right. I didn't really
You
appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't
But
realise.
one of the things that you did say to me at the beginning when I did choose you, you said it's because you believe, and I do believe in what I'm doing, and I believe that the fight is worth it. You know.
I think it's interesting that autism isn't generally a popular choice for charities.
Yeah, it isn't.
It's not something that you see widely taken on by corporate sponsors, and I mean the National Autistic Society, which is the biggest charity for autism, doesn't really cover children. It's mainly aimed at adults because that's where they feel the need to plug their money. They're one of the lowest charities on the charity lists of what, for money wise. They don't get an awful lot of funding. It's a very unpopular choice, and I think by talking about it more, it makes people think about it more. And the fact that you raise the awareness, and with the awareness comes the funding to try and improve those lives.
But if we're going to change the world, we need to start, like we're going back to schools, we need to start with the young. We need to start plugging it in their minds from an early age, so that when they grow up to become, you know, part of, you know, CEOs of companies and things like that, then they'll think, oh, do you remember such and such who were in my school, he really struggled,
Yeah.
he had autism. I know, why don't we become an advocate or sponsors?
Yeah.
Do you know, for them, that's what we need to work on in Sparkle. We need to keep plugging from, like what you'll do is amazing. You've done no end. You know, I know you've not been with us a long time, but the amount of stuff you've done for us already has been brilliant.
That's so true, Mel.
It'd have cost us a
So
fortune
true.
and would have spent so much of our budget on things that you've just proper like blagged. Not blagged, that's wrong word.
No, that's fine, darling.
I think that's
right there.
No, but do you know what I mean though? We wouldn't have even been able to like, we'd have spent so much money on decorations for Grotto if you would have, you know, like what you did. And we needed that, and it's amazing how God's brought Mel to us as well.
Oh my gosh.
Into our
she's
little team,
amazing.
and
Yeah.
you know, and look how it's all going in the right track. But just going back to what we were saying, I really do think that if we're ever going to change the world for our kids, which that's our goal in
You have to do it yourselves.
yeah, we've got to do it.
You've
and,
got to do it as parents.
and we've got to educate.
And
We've
it
got
can
to push that education. That's all we can do.
Just one more thing that I've been doing as well. When I go around to manufacturers, I speak to people about autistic adults.
Oh wow.
Because I say, you know, especially in employment where it's repetitive,
Yeah.
I say you find that, you know, that people want change. An autistic adult would fit into that role so well and will give you 110%, and you know, probably never be off ill, you know, as long as they can go and do their work and enjoy it. They will enjoy it. So I am speaking to manufacturers and employment agencies about especially you know, repetitive work, because that would fit into.
Oh my God, you've learnt loads from us.
I have. So I just
going to grow up as well.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm speaking to them
brilliant.
about that as well.
That's
So I
really
hope
good.
that helps. Yeah.
Well done.
And that is
That's
the main
really good.
fear, isn't it, for us all, that at minute the
They're not-
kids
yeah,
are cute.
they want to. Yeah.
They're going
You
to
want
become
them to go on
adults.
and have a role in life.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
you?
and not just have a purpose for them, but, you know, like we said, fitting in. You know, just, I know it means,
They can look after themselves
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
entertain
and
enjoy.
be
Enjoy.
self-sufficient.
happy.
Be happy being who they are.
As a parent, we just want our children to be happy and loved.
Yeah.
Those are the two main things that we want as parents. No different from any other parent.
No.
That's what all a parent wants. If their
Yeah.
child is happy and loved, they have got everything that they could possibly want in terms of parenting. But it is a little bit more difficult.
It
for our
takes a bit
children.
longer to get there, doesn't
Yeah. Go ahead. Have you got any more questions?
Yeah, I have. So, obviously we spoke about your family and friends, and you said that you'd got a friend with a child with autism. Well, is it all right if we speak about him? Yeah, is that alright? Cool. So I just wanted to ask you, like, did that give you some purpose to choose an autistic charity? Did that give?
No, not really, because he's older now. He's like 18 now.
Yeah.
But I've watched her fight, and what she's wanted him to be normal. She's always fought for him to be in a normal school, normal this, and then it is. She's had a lot of battles, and like you say, people have moved away from her because she's constantly battling. Sometimes she forgets about having a life herself. And I hope that I've been there and said, "Come, you must come out. You must come and have a drink with us and separate yourself from it," because you get into that fight, and that's what I believe that she has. She got into this fight where that's all she saw.
Yeah.
And her other children got neglected a bit because she was just fighting for him constantly. And as he's got older, his development's got worse. And now she still struggles with knowing a place for him. She's had him in college, and that's not been right. And so she's still on that roller coaster. But I hope over the year, I haven't understood her battles. And I think sometimes she got exhausted by it, and so because she'd been battling all day, she often didn't want to come out with us, and I'd try and say, you know, come on, or I'd go round to hers and say, let's have a bottle of wine because you need to relax a bit here, you need to unwind.
Oh God, I wish somebody would say
I was
that to
gonna
me.
Can we clone you?
Yeah.
But
It's the wine.
It's the wine.
The wine can be like, right.
but I have noticed that, as you said, and I didn't until you'd said it, that all the friends I've left about the wait time, and I didn't at the time, but you brought it to me that they'd have, because maybe she has been a bit hard work, and she, because of her circumstances.
She has to be.
Yeah.
Who else was going to look out
Yeah,
for her?
that's
She
right.
has to,
That's
yeah.
right. So.
I think also you're saying about how some friends distance themselves. I think it actually works the other way around as well. I think
We
I
do
have
as
distanced
well.
myself as well because it is easier for my children or child, even though I might be sacrificing a relationship. I think that makes.
The other thing is, I know that lots of people always say, Leash always gives hugs all the time, and I do. I hug everybody, but I do that on purpose, and I do it because there were times when I've hugged the first time I hugged a parent and she wouldn't let go of me, and I was like, my God, she's not letting go, and she wouldn't let go of me. But after she let go, she said to me, you don't know how long it's been since I've had a hug. You have no idea, just you doing that, what it means. And that, from that day, I thought, right, I'm going to hug everybody, whether they want it or not again. Because I thought, I don't know that person's circumstance. I don't know what they're going through. I mean, they tell me on Facebook, but I don't know, I can't see the whole kind of thing of what they're going through. And if just giving them something as simple as a hug, she said that made her year, because she hasn't had any physical contact with anybody. All she does is just every day with her son. Her partner left her as soon as he found out that their son was autistic, because he couldn't handle it. So she hasn't had any physical contact with anybody for such a long time. And I thought, you know what? That's not good enough, and that's why I hug. So if you're not all wondering, that's actually why I do it.
I read a really interesting article which was comparing stress from people who were suffering from sort of post-battle stress in army situations. And they compared it to mums that are going through having a child with special needs. And they said that the effect on the brain is identical, because you always have that, I don't know what's going to happen. You're always on that high alert. And it's interesting that you say it can make you a hard work for other friends. And I can understand that, because I mean, everybody knows that I've had really bad depression and anxiety since my little boy was diagnosed, and I struggle with that. But I know that makes me less fun to be around sometimes, and I need to withdraw myself. So I think it is true, it's not just that friends withdraw from you. You do withdraw from select friends as well, because you don't want them to see you so vulnerable and not in a light that you'd always presented yourself with. But for your true friends, they see it all and they stick with you throughout, and you find new friends that are in the same boat, and it's the common sort of circumstances, I think, that bonds us together. So, because we've said this many times when we've been in Sparkle Mums, nobody would have put us all together in the same room to be such good friends. And it's this shared goal of wanting the best for our children, and all having very similar experiences and understanding without having to give so much of an explanation, that sort of bonds special needs mums, I think. Which is interesting.
That's why Sparkle, us as a team, work, because we don't work in the traditional working way. We bond as a family. And we're always saying that we're the Sparkle family, and we're not just saying it just for saying its sake. We really care and love each other a lot, and if something happens, we're always there for each other. And that's what pulls us together. I think that's what makes Sparkle in a way, because that projects then onto other people, because when we see other people, they're part of that as well. So it works really, really well.
So just to end, at the beginning of when you started Sparkle and I first joined, one of my main things that I always wanted to do was to get like a production team together, do you know, to do a play or a show, a social story in school just to educate, do you know, like an assembly as a treat. And I just wanted to ask if you ever come across any like actors or anything like that, or production companies that are wanting to do something for charity, would you send my way so that
I will. Yeah,
one day in
definitely.
future that we can have, you know, all these, like this education that's so needed, we can have, you know, maybe a little fun way of doing it as well, because we all know kids learn.
That's
you
an
know,
excellent idea, isn't it?
That's
yeah.
one of my main, you know, for future.
Get Mel on the phone.
No.
You have to crucible, please.
By the way, did you know? Yeah. No, but I think, and I just wanted to finish today because obviously I know like people's got things to do and stuff like
I've
that.
got food to eat. Hello.
Yeah, that cheesecake. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that you know, we want to thank the Lord Mayor because without her, and you know, we wouldn't have done so much this year, and it's just a
I want to thank God.
Thank you to you. You're very welcome. Thank you for accepting me.
Oh,
No, you know, we are everything that you've done. Just being like just name dropping. That's great. Just thanks for being called Lord Mayor. I'm really glad you got that name.
Well, 3 years from now, Mel's going to do the same thing, by the way.
Did you know?
In 19 or 2000.
This is what we can say though when we're old, can't we?
Yeah.
No, we can though, can't we? Yeah. Oh wow, Melanie. She rang them up and Ronnie did some accounts and all No, but that's what we'll be like, won't we? You know what I mean? And by then, hopefully, we've changed a lot around, and our kids will be accepted and they'll all have a little job and we'll all have a little village.
You'll be different. Oh yeah, I'm on the village. I'm on
We
it.
can have our
On the village.
village
I'm on it.
where they can all live and be happy
Yes,
and
please.
free.
Like
And
Albert Square on
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on
without
it.
the drama.
Yeah.
Auti Street.
Oh God, please don't start her off.
Auti Street. We can have a carnival.
Okay, let's close it, babe. Let's close it.